First of all, congratulations Manchester United winning the FA Cup season 23-24. And not only was that a big win for Manchester United, it was also a deserved win for Manchester United, because I think, especially in the first half, Manchester United played very well. Very well in terms of clever, smart. I've been watching live nearly all the last Manchester City games this season and all over the season because of Haaland and Oscar Bob. And I must say, that was the first time I really saw a team who played without fear. A team that kind of did the right thing to punish them. Yes, Manchester City had an off day, but that was also down to Manchester United managed to them have an off day. End of the season game is all about going in without energy, going in without midfield position and really attack them. And you never felt that Manchester United, they could do things wrong, but you always saw they had a plan. And my last conversation, I will speak more about what happened in the players' tunnel later. My last conversation was with Darren Fletcher, who is head of sport or sporting director right at Manchester United now, and he was talking me through the tactics been done and how they fulfill that out there. So deserved win for Manchester City. I mean, yes, they won the league. That was the big one, to be fair to them, but make no secret about it. Of course, they wanted another trophy, but Manchester United and Erik ten Hag, the coach, getting the reward at the end of the season. So there's been a lot of speculations in and around Ten Hag's position at Manchester United. I was a part of that as well. What happened, I will try to take it in a chronologic order. When I came to Old Trafford for the Arsenal game, I was told by very reliable sources that Erik ten Hag had already been told that he was supposed to leave Manchester United. That after the season, that would be it. And the Friday before the FA Cup final, so this is recorded Monday morning, Friday before the FA Cup final, it went out. The Guardian was the first one saying he will get the sack. And on Saturday, most English or all English outlets, media outlets, said the same. Going into the game, not the perfect preparation for Manchester United, of course, but still managed to win. And I must say, how the Manchester United fans stood behind the team, stood behind the manager at the FA Cup final was very impressive. And I congratulate the fans as well to do that. And then a lot has been said about being told, not being told. I still stick to my guns, saying that he was told. I also stick to the guns based on what I heard after the final. And okay, say that Erik ten Hag is going to stay at Manchester United. Why did they let him out dry then in the media? And I'm talking about the owners now. I'm talking about the whole football club. There was statements done after the game. Sir Jim Ratcliffe went out and said he wanted to thank the players and the staff. I noticed also that Sir Jim Ratcliffe didn't want to talk about anything after the game about the manager's position. When we talk to the players, the players have to be loyal. Yes, they have to do that. I spoke to Onana, I spoke to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, the captain, said this is not a matter of the players. Absolutely right. The thing is, there was nothing said after that game showing any sign that Erik ten Hag will stay. Does that mean he will 100% leave? I don't know. I can't tell you 100%, because the reason I didn't go out with my information before the Arsenal game was that I didn't get it confirmed. I had very reliable sources, but I felt I didn't have enough. The reason I went out with it on Friday was that everybody else was writing that he will get the sack. So I wrote, I understand that he was told before the Arsenal game, and I stand by that. So after the game, I understand that Ineos, the owners, want some time. See it from their perspective. There is a great contingent of fans who will say after that FA Cup final, which they played so good, bringing another trophy to Manchester United. He couldn't be sacked on the day. He couldn't. You remember back in 2016 with Van Gaal, there was a rumor during the game that he would get the sack. They didn't want to do that mistake at all. So they put themselves in time now to do the analysis and doing a process as they are used to do when they take over companies, take over big brands. So there was no chance that Ten Hag in that moment would be fired by Manchester United. Does that mean that this could change after the FA Cup win? Well, it's not been the first time we'll see owners change opinion, would it? But I think that Ten Hag will have to leave. But again, I can't know. Nobody can know except Ineos. But say he will stay. Okay, let's go down that road. Then I think the process has been done terrible. I think that Ten Hag has been out there on his own, battling for himself, which he has done brilliantly, by the way. I think that is okay that he's having a go at us pundits, because it is a different thing. But it's also the fact, dear Mr. Ten Hag, that in the Premier League this season you're 8th. You're so far away from what Manchester United are supposed to be. I was in England, played in England at the time of Manchester United. If they were second, that was a failure of the club. And yes, you can blame injuries, you can blame whatever you want, but the fact is you're 8th. You cannot hide that some of the recruitments have been terrible. You cannot claim that you're the only one who have had injury problems, because a lot of the teams have had injury problems. Even Manchester City with De Bruyne out for 5 months, the best player and the best goal scorer Erling Haaland out for 2 months. So you can't hide that at all. But then again, I don't think Ten Hag, as sometimes Ten Hag have of course he has a right to defend himself, and he did in the interview with BBC, ITV and the rest of us. That is his right, but he can't hide that this Manchester United team, yes, they've had injuries, but so have other teams had. And some of the performance they have put in this season is not good enough. And that is my job. My job is to have an opinion. Erik ten Hag's job is to run Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in England. His job is absolutely more difficult than mine and other pundits. But you can't hide of the fact that this is a terrible performance in the league by Manchester United and some terrible recruitments in there. But then again, if Erik ten Hag now, if the owners now, kind of because of the trophy, because of the contingent of Manchester United fans that now support Erik ten Hag, if they change their mind and keep him on in the job, I still think that is bad management. Not bad management that they change their mind, because changing your mind you can always do. I mean, not the first, not the last who will do that. But still, the way they have let him be alone out there, that is not okay based on that. Because what we also know, and the media, different media outlets have reported that, what we also know is that Manchester United have talked to other managers. Will other managers have their agenda? Will they try then to push a decision in their favor? Of course they will. But we know that they have spoken to managers. We know that Gareth Southgate fits the bill with the new people coming in with Ashton and so on. We also know that Thomas Tuchel has been interested and been very keen to get that. We also know that he got a good name in the Ineos team Ineos. De Zerbi, Frank, I don't think will fit to Manchester United. That's just my feeling of it. Pochettino, who were last in the competition when Ten Hag got the job, he's now available. I think he has done a good job at Chelsea. He's a likable person. He's a good ambassador for the club. So that is the fact. And the fact is that Manchester United have had a bad season. The fact is that Ineos want to change the manager. But the fact is also, we'll see now when they buy themselves some time after that FA Cup triumph, we'll see what the final decision will be. What's quite interesting, and I'll say that at the end here, in the players' tunnel, we are stood right outside the dressing room, and you have all the players, you have all the celebration, and you have with the pizza boys, because it was boys, going into the dressing room with all the pizza that they end up footballers now after game. There's some hungry going on. And they went in with their medals. They were screaming. They were singing. We can listen to this. Fantastic feeling for Manchester United. Of course, much more quiet in the Manchester City dressing room. And then the big guys coming one by one. Sir Alex Ferguson coming down with David Gill. They always tend to be together. And then Pep Guardiola notice him and go over to him and hug him and shake hands with him, talk with him for some few seconds, because there's so many people in there. And if you have a look at my X Twitter timeline, you will see a little film of that. Then Sir Jim Ratcliffe came. I also saw Sir David Brailsford coming down, and they were all going into the dressing room, and one the Glazer as well coming down there. He looks a bit lost in those situations, but he went into the dressing room, or in most situations, to be honest. And they went in there, and I spoke to Annan after the game, and he said, "Wow, when Sir Alex Ferguson comes into a dressing room, it's unbelievable that the thing that we gonna experience going into there." It was quite interesting. It was a small observation as well. After Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir David Brailsford been in the dressing room, they went out through the tunnel out on Wembley, and then the two of them was just viewing Wembley, and we saw them back to back, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe took the arm around his colleague Brailsford, and they just had a quiet moment there, I think, to soak in that you win the FA Cup, which is by all standards, by Manchester United and by all clubs in the world, a big thing to do. And Erik ten Hag said it always been on my bucket list, because people like myself, who's always watched football from Norway when I was a kid, and Erik ten Hag did the same from Holland. The FA Cup got a fantastic, prestigious kind of role. The oldest cup tournament, 1872 at Wembley since 1924, and abide with me since 1927. There is a lot of tradition going into that. That's what I love about the British tradition, and they take it out in the FA Cup. But there's a lot of things going on now. This is done Monday morning, recorded Monday morning, and we'll see how things will change in the next day. There have to come some sort of vote of confidence, or he's going to be out, and then we'll follow it up, and I will update you from my point of view what's going on at the club. They need a new manager as well. If that's going to be Gareth Southgate, will he do that just before the Euros? Can we have a situation that they will delay it even more? I think that how the media landscape is moving now, you have to make a quick decision. We saw how wrong it could go with Bayern Munich when you have 4 or 5 candidates before you end up with Winston Company. So that is also in respect to Erik ten Hag, that in 2 seasons have given them 3 finals and 2 wins. And I like the quote by ten Hag, say, if they let me go here, I will go somewhere else and win a trophy. So he battled on the field, he battled after the game. But I think I do understand that, I like to say, because I don't have it confirmed by the club, that Erik ten Hag will be out of Manchester United sooner rather than later.